Stephen of History Hustle, and today we are standing in Phonsavan on the plain of jars here in Laos. And this area witnessed heavy fighting during the Laotian Civil War, also known as the Secret War. Before I get into that, I'll explain how Laos gains its independence from France. After World War II, the Japanese left and the French came back, and they were hoping to create a new French protectorate, maintaining their colony of Laos. However, Laos weren't agreeing with that, and in 1949 the French decided that Laos became independent within the French Union, so they were still under French supervision. However, in 1953, yes, it finally happened. Laos gained its independence from France. But as you see a lot with colonized countries, that after the independence there are different parties fighting against each other, and that's how the Laos Civil War started. There were three major parties in this civil war. The first one was the right-wing party. They were trying to make a dictatorship inside Laos. The second one were the communists, and their party was called the Pathet Lao. They wanted to build a communistic state here in Laos. The third one were the neutralists, and they wanted to create unity. But with all the contradictions, this was a hard task. In 1953, the French got defeated at Dien Bien Phu, and therefore they withdrew their forces from Vietnam. Two separate states in Vietnam were created, North Vietnam and South Vietnam. However, the North kept attacking the South, and at the end of the 50s, they invaded Laos to create the Ho Chi Minh Trail. It was a trail for supplies from north to Laos to the south. The three different parties here tried to get an agreement, tried to get a coalition, but that failed. The United States tried to force elections, however, they banned the Communist Party, they banned the Pathet Lao. In 1960, the neutralists got power. The United States of America financed a right-wing counter-attack, and therefore in these years, coup after coup occurred. There was no stable government. Fighting kept going on. From 1964, we entered the second phase of the Laos Civil War, because from that point, the United States of America delivered their troops for the Vietnam War. However, a lot of North Vietnamese soldiers traveled to Laos to supply their fellow comrades fighting in the south. Therefore, the United States started bombing this area. It is incredible to believe, but more bombs have been thrown on Laos than on Germany and Japan in World War II combined. And that makes Laos the most bombed country in history. Also, the CIA landed here and recruited and trained anti-communists, gave them weapons. This area witnessed heavy fighting, not only bombardments from the air, but also a lot of artillery fire and tank battles. And because of that, a lot of this area and its cultural heritage got destroyed. The year of 1968 was a turning point in the Vietnam War. From that moment, the United States of America realized that they couldn't win the war with military measures, so they sought diplomatic measures. In 1973, they withdrew their forces from Vietnam, and therefore the bombardments here in this area came to an end. However, the fighting did not, because in 1975, the Viet Cong, the North Vietnamese army, also seized Saigon. And also in Cambodia, communist regimes gained power. At that point, the Pathet Lao, the Lao communist forces, realized they could win. And they occupied city after city. In the capital of Vientiane, there was panic. People who worked for the right-wing party and with the Americans fled the country, and in December 1975 the Pathet Lao gained power in the capital, and with that the Democratic People's Republic of Laos was born.